Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and you will succeed.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right commandment is a promise.
And this is Crown TV.
Welcome to Farmer's Pride. You want to know how these plants are planted, what kind of pesticides are used on them so that you can preserve them.
Do it in a small shamba, maybe half an acre, 1 acre, and show other people that it can work.
Make it, yeah.
So, mkulima, you have to put all your effort. Don't lose hope. Always be strong, whatever comes.
Kaa pamoja nasi ili tujifunze zaidi na zaidi jinsi gani ambavyo tunaweza kufaidika kutokana na ukulima kutoka maeneo ambapo unaishi. This is Farmer's Pride and I am your host Magdalene Apond.
Hello. How are you? Salama. Welcome.
Asante sana.
Okay. Okay.
Safari imekuwa mrefu lakini tumefika.
Okay. Mlitoka saa ngapi?
Tulitoka kitu saa 5 hivi ndio tumefika sasa.
Okay. Asante.
So I hope leo tutakuwa na a good time, weather ikuwe mzuri. Tutembelee zile projects ambazo mnafanya.
Okay.
Yes.
Over here, yeah, welcome home. This is Oneko's or King Oneko's home. I'm the one who is at the moment over here.
Okay.
I would call myself a better farmer.
A better farmer.
A better farmer.
Yes. Kindly tell them your name.
Yeah.
Hapa ni mahali gani, maeneo gani haswa ambayo tuko leo?
Okay. Hapa ni Uyoma Kabudha, which is in Rarieda.
Yes.
Siaya County. And as you can see, bright and sunny. It has rained a couple of days behind, so everything is happy. The grass is happy, the birds are happy, so it seems to be a good time to visit here.
It's a good time to visit.
Yes.
Hata sisi tunashukuru Mungu sana.
Yes.
Tumefika at the right time.
Okay.
Yes, can you tell us briefly, because I know you have like so many projects that are going around this place.
Yes.
I know you have some greenhouses on the other side. Tuambie tu kwa ufupi ni nini ambayo haswa wewe unafanya maeneo haya, the projects that go on here.
Okay, over here, as I said, I'm a better farmer.
Yes.
And it has a slight history. At the greenhouses, which you have first mentioned, I used to grow tomatoes.
Yes.
But slowly, we kind of started changing our strategy. We went to planting trees. And we planted a lot of tree seedlings for the county. Okay. We did up to close to, actually more than 500,000 tree seedlings.
So the county buys from you?
For the county,
okay.
Yeah. And that was the aim of what we did. And then from there, we decided that the best thing for the same facility is to use it to grow seedlings. Okay. The seedlings are used for now the other two different farms. We have one demonstration farm, which is very close by, and then we have one which is now where we're now partnering up with smallholder farmers.
Okay.
And that is where I would really like you to come and see the first model of what we're doing with smallholder farmers.
Okay.
So what happens is that the seedlings for our vegetables come from the greenhouse, and then we transplant them onto the main shamba.
Okay.
And that is somebody else's shamba, but we supply him with the seedlings, we supply him with the technology and the know-how of how to grow these.
With the technology and the know-how.
And the know-how.
So this is where we are going to get like all the information that we require. Correct. I believe this is the right place for Crown TV to have landed this morning, and I believe, beloved viewers, wherever you can see us from, wherever you're watching us from, you are going to learn a lot. So join us as we start this lesson today. May God bless you. Beloved viewers, today is another day where the Lord has blessed us to be at the lake base of Lake Victoria, specifically in Uyoma, Rarieda, whereby we are going to cover a different type of plant, that is tomatoes. We're also going to look at the trees, and it is a big privilege that we are at the home today of the late Achieng Oneko, and they are going to take us now through the whole process of what is grown in this area, some of the things that we can pick from them, that we can incorporate in our farming methods in whichever place that you are watching us from. Remember, this is Farmer's Pride, and I am your host, Magdalene Apond. Welcome. So now,
yes,
tell me about this place. What are the things that are normally grown in this area? Because from what I can see, the place is very green, meaning that the soil is fertile. Tell me, what do you normally plant here, like in the environs?
You see, most people in this area plant maize and beans.
Maize and beans.
Maize and beans is the most food that is grown.
Okay.
Of course, some people grow sorghum, there's a little bit of millet, but most people grow maize and beans.
Maize and beans.
Yeah. Now, our strategy was slightly different. Okay, let me include tomatoes.
Yes. Oh, tomatoes, okay.
Because we have a lot of horticultural farmers, smallholder farmers.
Yes.
So a lot of it has been on tomatoes.
Okay.
And I also, when I started farming, I decided, let me do tomatoes.
Okay.
And before tomatoes, I did watermelons, sweet melons, pepper, and so on. But I settled on tomatoes because there was a very high market for tomatoes.
How many seasons?
Now, here in terms of seasons, seasons does not really play a role. The reason why seasons don't play a role, just down here we have the lake.
Oh,
so
okay.
we don't depend so much on the rain, especially horticultural growers. But when you talk about maize and beans, it's only one season. Uyoma does one season per year. Because when, like right now, when the rain comes, it comes in plenty, and it's sufficient to give us enough produce for the whole year.
Okay.
We have our our long rains, which begin from around March, April, maybe May.
Okay.
So June, July, and we remove the harvest.
Okay.
Then maybe sometimes we get a little bit of more rains around November, December, that period. But it is usually not sufficient to give us a produce.
For the tomatoes?
For the maize.
For the maize and the beans, okay.
Now, when it comes to tomatoes, what normally happens is that most people who are doing tomato farming irrigate.
Oh.
So people have their small pumps, and these pumps pump the water to the land.
Okay.
And that is where they now produce the tomatoes. Other people have now started doing vegetables. 99% of them are doing sukuma wiki. So sukuma wiki in this area is something that you will get in plenty.
You know, my mom is from this area, and one time she mentioned that people from this area, Uyoma, they don't like mboga. They don't eat mboga. Their mboga is fish. We do. So when you're talking of vegetables, I'm surprised that it is grown here.
We do quite a bit of vegetables.
Okay.
I think we supply the markets of Akala, Bondo, that area, all the way to Siaya.
They all come from this place.
Produces a lot of it.
That is beautiful.
So that's what we have. But I looked at it differently and said, let us go back to our traditional mbogas. We have very good, nutritious organic vegetables that we could grow. And that's what I've now placed a lot of focus and emphasis on.
Oh, okay.
So most of the mboga that I'm now growing is the traditional vegetables.
Okay.
This is the managu or Osuga. Then you have saga, which is dek. Then you have
now I can relate the names.
There are some that I don't even know their
Apond.
names. Apond.
Apond.
Yes. And then there is ake.
Ake, is it ake? Okay.
We have kandera.
Kangera.
We have what else do we have there? We have ododo. We have Mito.
Mito, I know Mito.
Yes. So these are type of plants that I've decided that let me focus on these and then produce them to a level where we feel comfortable and introduce it back to the community. You know, the younger generation, they have grown up with skuma.
Yeah.
So when you have, let's say Osuga, it has two types. There's the giant one, and then there's the what I call local.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yes, the giant one is the one that has now been reproduced many times, and it grows much faster, it's bigger. But then there's a local one which is a little bit more sour. Some people find it better tasting, and I believe it's very nutritious.
That is a very nice idea.
Yes.
Because now you're bringing back the idea of nutrition into our meals.
Exactly.
Considering people like the generation right now, people are most built into carbohydrates because that is the most fast foods come from that. Exactly. But when now you bring in the vegetables part, it makes it so composed and, you know, like a wholesome meal that people can have. And I believe most of our viewers who are watching us, I know they are all over the globe.
Yes.
And when you talk about these vegetables, the green ones that you have talked about, I believe it's good information for them so that they can adopt it in their meals.
I am calling it superfoods.
Superfoods.
Superfoods because it's nutritious,
it's a very nice,
organic,
that is a very nice
indigenous,
one. Yes.
And it's the one that does best in our environment.
Yes.
Because this is where it's supposed to be growing. It's been growing there for many years.
Are you doing it large scale or just kidogo kidogo for the locals?
As I said, we have just started it.
Yes.
We've started it so that we're now propagating it, producing it, so that more smallholder farmers can be able to produce indigenous, nutritious food. That's the aim of the whole thing.
Okay.
So the way, the approach that we have is show them that this is what can be done on a small scale. Because if you do it in a big scale, nobody's going to say, no, I can't do that.
Okay.
Do it in a small shamba, maybe half an acre, 1 acre, and show other people that it can be done.
It can work. It can work. Make it.
Yes. Then that is what we want to replicate.
Okay.
So there's huge pieces of land which are going to be lying idle after they have harvested the maize and the beans. So after they have done that, then we now come in with our vegetables, and then we make sure that we show them that this is the procedure, this is how we're supposed to do it with the correct ingredients.
Yes.
And that's the idea that we have. That now we start producing the seedlings of all these vegetables we're talking about. So they don't have to look for the seeds, they don't have to look for how to grow it,
certified seeds, because all the time it's all certified.
Exactly. Because I've been lucky that I've have good relationships with the bigger company, Simlo, Seedco, and so on. The people who produce these seeds.
Yes.
So I can always go to them, germinate the seeds, and then transplant it into their shamba.
Yeah, because you know, like right now it's a planting season.
Yes.
And everyone is talking about we need money so that we can get the certified seeds.
Yes.
And also this money is also a challenge. So I believe when you have something which is easily available to people, I think people can adopt that better than exposing them to other expenses which they are not ready for. You know?
And our aim is that it's going to be affordable.
Yes.
It's nutritious. And that is what we actually need for our bodies, as opposed to just eating carbohydrates. Of course, we are actually blessed that we also have fish.
Yes.
So fish with this nutritious food, with the carbohydrates of ugali.
You guys are in a Canaan here.
We are in Canaan.
You're in a Canaan here.
We are in Canaan.
Yes.
Yes.
So the project that you have down here is all vegetables.
Vegetables.
And it's traditional.
Traditional seedlings. Of course, we have sukuma.
Okay.
Because the younger generation.
But sukuma is still
Yeah,
Skuma is
it's
still
not indigenous.
traditional.
It's,
Okay.
it's not indigenous,
Yes.
but it's something that I think was brought to us. I don't know when or whatever year.
Yeah.
It's not that it's bad,
Yes.
but it's just that let us also incorporate what we used to have in the earlier years.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's a good idea. I believe one time we are going to get some time to visit that
Yes.
part so that
Yes.
we can see them. Personally, I cannot even tell you which one is deck and which one is I don't know
Yeah.
the names you've just
Manago
mentioned.
and-
I cannot even differentiate any of them.
Yeah.
But if you are able to see them, then why not?
Correct.
Yes, we can just go there
Yes.
and
I think
get
that-
a view
that-
of it.
Yes.
Yes.
I
At
think
least I'll be
that's
able
the
to pick
idea.
one, two, or 3 things.
Yeah.
Tell you what, send me to the market. I don't know. I don't know.
No, you know Skuma, I'm sure.
Yes, I know skooma, but the others,
Yeah.
no. Why don't we proceed to the shamba?
Excellent. Good
Yes.
idea. I think
Okay.
let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Twende, which way?
We'll go like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa sawa.
Okay.
Yeah. Mboga ya kienyeji.
Correct.
Which way?
We can
After
go
you.
like this. Are
After
we
you.
going to?
to the farm where you do the vegetables?
Yeah, but we'll have to, as he said,
Yes.
we'll have to go this direction.
This direction.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, welcome to the farm.
Thank you.
This place is called Adola.
Adola.
Yes,
The
Adola.
whole area.
Yes, Adola is huge. It starts from right outside there, all the way to where you can see that house, and then you go all the way until where you can see up there, right to the vicinity that side. That's all. This area is called Adola.
Where do you get the names from, or what is the meaning of Adola?
And not that I know what it really means, but that's the name I found, and that's the name that has been
picked
called
up
for a long time.
Eh,
Most of this place used to be grazing area. It used to be a thicket. It used to be a forest, like whatever you can see outside there. So that the whole area was a dwelling. It's only now that a lot of horticulture and plants are being grown over here, but mainly maize and beans. That's the main thing that is grown around here. Yeah.
So, beloved viewers, as you can see, we are now in Adola, if I said it right.
Correct. Very
Yes,
correct.
and here you can see very well that it's a very vast piece of land whereby there's a lot of farming that is going on, and we are going to take a little bit of time so that we can go through each and every vegetable that is grown here, and we are also going to take we're also going to answer some of the questions which some of you have at one point or another. They want to know how you want to know how these plants are planted, what kind of pesticides are used on them so that you can preserve them, because at the end of the day we want to save our nation in a way that we can avoid some of the diseases that come our way out of us not eating or not consuming these kind of greens which were being planted very many years ago. So we have Nam here, and he's going to take us through. So Nam, Tafadhali.
Thank you.
Tuanzie wapi sasa?
Let me start by saying that the first vegetable that we have grown here in the traditional language is called bo. Bo is in Swahili Kundi, and this one is what we have here. It's the one that is occupying this strip all the way to that end. Okay. That is Kundi. Then close by we have this one, which is deck.
Kabla hata tuende kwa kunde.
Yes.
Tell me about this not deck. We are in kunde now.
Yes.
The first one you've just mentioned.
Yes, kunde.
Yes. Can I pick it?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Like this?
Yes.
Okay. I believe our viewers have seen this mboga before. In our markets, they are being sold. So tell us, how is this plant planted? This mboga. Like what is required of us so that we can plant it?
Kunde is a very fast-growing vegetable. So over here, we planted it direct, meaning that we took the seeds, made holes, and then planted them. It takes a very, very short period of time to grow. So Kunde is a very easy plant to grow. The good thing about it, it is nitrogen fixing, and it helps the soil in giving it more nitrogen.
Is it affected with any pests, maybe in the process of it growing?
No.
No.
All plants over here will be affected by some kind of pest or disease. On this shamba, we have never sprayed not even one single day.
Beautiful.
No pest, no disease, as you can see.
How
you
come?
might find once or two, maybe something walking around. We believe in not using any pesticides. We say that if a plant is being attacked by an insect, that means it's a weak plant. If it is a stable, strong plant, then most of these diseases will not come and eat it. It is not fit for them.
But
it is fit for human consumption.
What determines the strength of the plant?
It's something called the Brix level. The Brix level is the sugar content or nutrient content in the plant. If the nutrient content is very high, then the insects will not come and attack it. If it is low, then it will get attacked. And when it gets attacked, it's just a symptom of showing that that plant is not healthy. And therefore you start using insecticides and you use fungicides. So whenever I hear people using insecticides or fungicides, then I know that plant is not a strong plant. In most cases.
In most cases?
Yes, in most cases. Yes.
If I may ask, does the type of soil or the fertility of the soil determine the strength of the plant? Or it just happens?
No. This particular land, as I said, that it's about an acre in size. What we did first is that we came and put a lot of organic matter, and then used a lot of manure and just made sure that it is healthy.
It is fertile.
It is fertile.
Okay.
And good for growing crops. So after that, that's when we came and planted. We have not used any fertilizer over here, not even one single day. And because it is almost virgin land, then we know it is good land. So we try and avoid not using any herbicides or insecticides or fungicide or fertilizer. So we have not used so far. Yeah. And as I said, it is a model farm. It is something that we have just started. We don't know how it's going to end up, but so far we have done harvesting for over 1 month, or actually 1.5 months. So far things are looking good.
And the leaves are looking big.
Big, green, and very tasty when you eat them.
I believe you're going to have this for dinner, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And to add more, or one more question, why have you put them like in a row, in a bush way? Or you've made? What is the idea of planting? Is there spacing?
As you can see, there is spacing. If you look at maybe other ones, here it looks bushy because now it has grown to the point where it needs to be harvested. These ones have just been harvested, that's why you don't see them bushy. They have been overlapping each other, touching each other, and most of them have just been harvested. In fact, you remember the person I told you was just collected and is going. Yeah, so a lot of harvest has been done. But if you came back, let's say a week or 10 days later, then you'll find that the leaves are growing and touching each other. Yes.
And is this something to be worried about when you see in your shamba?
When I see that, I know there's a caterpillar that has come and is trying to eat, and because it is finding that it is a healthy plant, it says, no, I don't want to eat this. This is not fit for me. Let me go and look for a weak plant. Let me go and eat another weak plant.
So they choose?
Just like human beings, you choose what you want to eat. You don't go and, like this is a tree, you don't go and eat the bark of a tree. No, because it's not fit for human consumption. Yes.
And you've talked about seeds.
Yes.
Where do you get your seeds from?
Seeds we normally get from different companies, and most of them we try to go straight to the factory, not to the factory, but to the most of them come from Nairobi,
Like
let me put it that way. Like let's say if I go to Simlo, then I would talk to the agronomists or the marketing people, sales people in Simlo, and I get it directly. Or if it is Seedco, then I go and get them directly from them. You go to Amaran, get it directly from them.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have to have the certified ones so that you can do the planting?
Absolutely. I don't batisha on this, just what could I call them? Just any type of seed. I definitely want to go to the certified seed, the one that makes that I am very sure that has passed the test and it's our original seed. Yes.
So as we move on maybe to the next plant that we have here.
So the next plant we have skuma wiki.
Skuma wiki.
Yeah, so we have skuma wiki.
Very healthy one.
And we have that one is Kandera. Yeah. Kandera, I think it's called Ethiopian kale.
Ethiopian kale.
That one.
Wow. Okay. Kanzera. Like Kanzera. I hear people Kanzera.
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 Yes.
Okay.
Kanzera, I think, is more of Luya.
Yeah.
Kanzera is Luo, and then maybe other tribes call it differently.
So
over here, we call it Kanzera. But I think it's called Ethiopian kale.
Okay.
Yes.
So they are sisters.
Yes, they are
slight difference.
There's a difference, but they can grow next to each other. And some of them actually is that when we were planting, the people who were planting them could not tell the difference when they were still young, and therefore just mixed everything up.
Oh, no wonder.
Yes.
Tell us about the distance, what is required. So
usually we try and put like legs a foot between here, between one another and 1 foot, and then that one we put maybe 60 centimeters, and that's the spacing we normally put. Of course, some of them, when we're transplanting, not all of them survive. Yeah, so you'll find gaps in certain places, but that's the kind of spacing we use for them.
Do people in the area like skuma wiki that much?
Skuma wiki is the main vegetable that is eaten around here. One, it's very affordable.
Yes. More affordable than these others?
Yes, it is more affordable.
Oh.
It is more affordable than other indigenous vegetables. And because of the being pocket friendly, then you can imagine the consumption is much higher. Yes.
So what is the environment behind the growth of such healthy skuma wiki? Like what is required?
I think it starts right from the ground. I mean, if you have good soil, and we use irrigation. The lake is not too far from here. We have a water pump there. That any time that we find that the soil is dry, then we come underwater. So we don't wait for the rain. But like now during the rainy season, the rain does everything for us.
How many times do you get to pick the leaves? Like maybe in a month or two, so that maybe for sales or
over
something?
here, especially during, let's say, the warmer period, which right now is quite warm, is weekly. So every week you take 3 leaves of the skoma. 3 weeks, 3 leaves of the skoma, 3 or 2 leaves of the skoma. So every week, this line will say, maybe this row here will say Monday, the second block Tuesday, third block Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on.
That is good money.
Yeah.
If you are to sell.
Yes, I do sell.
Yes.
Yes, I do sell, and so we kind of arrange it that every week, then we're doing one block after another block after another block.
Do you measure in bunches, or you do leaves?
The only one that we do in measuring is skuma. Skuma, we take the leaves and then put them in 3s or 2s or 1s, depending on the buyer, and sell it that way.
Like now when it's in the market?
No.
Or from the garden? Okay.
Every other mboga that we have here, we use a kilo.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
So behind us,
yes,
we have Mito.
Mito.
Mito, I don't even know the name in English. I just know it is called Mito.
It's commonly, everyone knows it as Mito.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this one is Mito. So as you can see, this one we try and harvest the whole of it 1 week, and then when next week we can come and harvest it again. So it's a weekly process of harvesting each and every line.
Does it grow any higher than this?
If you let it grow.
Okay.
It is something that you trim. It can grow up to this height.
Oh, nice.
So every week you come and you do that. Let me show you how we
That's how
we
you
harvest
pick it.
Yeah, let me show you how
see
we
that.
harvest this one. So over here, I would come and harvest these over here. The edges, yeah. That is what we harvest.
I want to see where you're touching. Oh, like the whole stalk.
Yeah, you just
like that.
Yeah, so you can harvest that side. I harvest this side.
Yeah, okay.
So you can be on that
I move
side.
that this
Yes.
way. Wow. So it's just a random pick.
Yeah,
Random.
but you try and take the ones towards the end, because those are the softer ones.
Okay. So, beloved viewers, you are here picking Mito.
Yeah, this is Mito. Very delicious.
Yes, very nutritious.
And nutritious and delicious.
And what are the nutritional value behind Mito?
It adds many things to the body. I'm not very scientific about it, but I know that I would have to check again back the chart what it actually has.
But our viewers can try it and then they see what happens.
Yes.
Maybe they can also give us some comments, because this is one of the most known vegetable which is grown around this area. I've ever tasted this one before, and I liked it anyway.
And it almost grows naturally, so with very little effort, it does well.
So when you're planting it, you just throw the seeds?
No.
What happens?
With Mito, we can put the seeds here, but these ones we didn't do that. We actually, what I was saying in the greenhouse, this is what we grow. The seeds we grow, and then we come and transplant over here.
Oh.
Yes.
So now let's say this is the plant.
The seedling.
The seedling now.
Yeah.
So you plant it.
Correct. Like you can see that line, and so on. So we put them in those little lines.
Hey, then that means like one seedling produces a very big, so many branches.
Yes, it does.
Hey, this is good. Resulting to a lot of Mito.
Yeah. I think that is enough.
That is enough for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Mito. And now Mito, normally you don't eat Mito alone. You can mix it with spinach. You can mix it with Ododo. So Ododo is this one over here. I think we can
move to Ododo.
Yeah, so I'll show you what Ododo is.
Mito Ododo. Which one?
This one has actually been harvested, but we can scrape off a little. Actually, why don't we go to that one? Because that one has not been harvested.
Okay. Yeah, they look bigger. The leaves look big. And this one is still Canzera?
That's Canzera, and then the other one is Osuga. This one is Osuga. Yeah.
Now I am lost somewhere.
So you can stand that side, and we can add some of this over here.
Okay.
So this one is Ododo.
Ododo.
Yes. So this one is actually just remove that.
They're picked the same way, like
picked.
Mito.
Exactly.
Okay. They're a bit.
Yeah, they are a
firm.
little hard on the harder side.
Whoa. Hey, hii imenishinda.
Pole.
Oh. Hey. Lakini, okay. You can use a panga for it.
Yeah, yes. Natumia nguvu kidogo tu.
Hii nataka watu wamezoea. You know how to cut the branch as you move. So these ones are also pests?
Yes, these are pests. So maybe that's where you can do a soil test and find out what exactly does this ododo will require. And
but here not yet.
Not really. I mean, you know, those animals will also come and see what they can eat. If they find that it is not what they want, then they will leave it alone.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think that.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good bunch. Yeah, exactly.
Yay.
So those two, that makes good
Ododo.
for a good meal. Yes.
So we've done ododo.
And mito.
Mito.
Yeah. And now, if you want this one here, we can go back this side.
Okay.
And we get so we have here Osuga.
Osuga.
Osuga is Managu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Managu. So that line, the whole of that line is Managu.
This one?
Yeah, no, this one here. This is Managu.
Oh, this one?
Yes, this is Managu.
And this one is ododo?
That's ododo.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's spinach.
Hey, spinach.
Yeah,
This
but that,
spinach is quite familiar.
But, this line was actually supposed to be for Osuga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Osuga Managu.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, how do you tell us about Managu? It's grown in most places. I've seen it.
Managu, like the same thing. We raise the seedlings in the greenhouse. From the greenhouse, we bring here the seedlings, make holes. Like over here, we had a trench here. We plant, cover. The same thing, plant over there. So here we can put about 4 or 5 of them, like that, all the way to the end.
To the end.
Yes.
And how long do these vegetables take to be this mature now? I'm sure they all have their own intervals.
They have their own intervals.
But range, what is the range?
In the greenhouse, we about 1 month.
Okay.
Yeah, and then over here, maybe 1.5 to 2 months. Yeah, so every week we're harvesting, but they stay here for about 2 months. Yeah.
So that you do another round of planting.
Yes, then you do another round of planting.
Okay.
So the next time this row, when you come, you can find that we have put
something else. Okay.
Yes.
Crop rotation.
Yes.
That is
yeah.
Good. So now
we'll put different things at different times.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least to conserve the soil and make sure that not all nutrients have been consumed, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, what else have we not touched on? Have we touched on this one really?
Yeah, that's now. Of course, we had spinach.
Yes.
But this spinach was not. It did not do very well in the nursery. So we didn't have enough of them. So we were just kind of intermixing them. Yes. And some of them died because most of these we planted during the hot February season.
Okay.
So at that time we had a lot of irrigation that we were doing. And a lot of things did not do as we expected, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, beloved viewers, we are going to go for a short break and we'll be right back with more of this. So don't go far, stay tuned. Welcome to Farmer's Pride. You want to know how these plants are planted, what kind of pesticides are used on them so that you can preserve them.
Do it in a small shamba, maybe half an acre, 1 acre, and show other people that it can work.
Make it, yeah.
So, you mkulima, you have to put all your effort. Don't lose hope. Always be strong, whatever comes.
Kaa pamoja nasi ili tujifunze zaidi na zaidi jinsi gani ambavyo tunaweza kufaidika kutokana na ukulima kutoka maeneo ambapo unaishi. This is Farmer's Pride and I am your host Magdalene Apond. beloved viewers, welcome back. And as you can see, I've already picked my own mboga, ready for dinner. Thank you very much, Nam.
Yeah.
Kindly, would like to hear from you, like so far, you've been able to plant this 1 whole acre of the traditional vegetables. What are the successes that you've already been able to achieve so far?
I think the idea of doing indigenous vegetables is to bring back what used to be there many years ago. A lot of people, especially the Gen Zs, you'll find that they don't know the difference between the different types of vegetables. Yet these are vegetables that thrive in these areas and do extremely well. So one is enlightening the surrounding, mostly the young people, and even the older people who have seen that a lot of them would even know that this one is called Mito, but how to cook it, they don't know.
Like myself here.
Oh, Paul, yeah. But now you will know.
But now I'm
now
here.
You will know.
I believe I'm going to know everything all the way up to the point of now eating it.
And most of these vegetables, the good thing about it that you can do mix and matches of very different type of vegetables. You can take Mito and Odo. You can take Mito and spinach. You can take Osuga and Dek, and you know, combine them and it'll give you a very delicious meal. So if you ask me what's the first big impact that I'm seeing is enlightening the society that there are different type of vegetables apart from just eating skooma, then you can eat our local superfoods. That is one. Two, over here is normally we have a group of 7 ladies who come and nurture this particular land. So they're the ones who bring the seedlings to this place. Then they're the ones who are involved in the transplanting exercise. It is not too back-breaking. Yes, it is intensive, but it is something that is doable. We normally work from maybe 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock and call it a day. In the model farm, what we have tried to do is, after they have transplanted, then we do, weeding, but we try to avoid using the traditional way of weeding. We have some metals that we use for weeding. This farm we have not used it, but on the other one they were using it. So we're just trying to reduce the amount of labor that we will use over here. Again, as I said, this one we don't have maybe state of the art. On the other farm we're using drip irrigation. Here we used flood irrigation. So, but then because it's the rainy season, we are not doing a lot of irrigation. But when we were doing irrigation, especially when we were transplanting, we would pump water from the lake, bring it over here, flood the place up, and then do the transplanting and the watering. Correct.
I've seen some of the plants when they are growing, it's quite bushy. How do you do the weeding?
Now, we like it that it's not too congested, where it can't breathe, but we also don't want it too open where weeds can come in and stay there. So there are some that you find that the plants did not grow as we had opted it to be, but there should just be enough space for the desired plant to grow without weeds coming inside. Now, how do we weed? This is clay soil. Clay soil is very, very heavy. The type of hose that we use here is different from those ones which have got big, could I call it teeth or heads? So they're very thin. So we just scrape. You scrape in between the plants. In between the plants. Yes. So that's how we do it. Or you just go slowly by hitting the floor to about maybe maybe 1 to 2 inches. And that's how we do the weeding of this place. Yes.
And financially, maybe to have this kind of a setting going on in your piece of land, would you say it is expensive, it is affordable, or it's something which people can sit back at home and think to adopt it?
As I said, we're trying to do it on 1 acre and less than 1 acre. If you start off with just using 1 block, which is 25 meters by about 25 meters, I think any young person, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, until 25, can easily manage it on their own.
Yes.
We're trying to avoid it being labor intensive.
Okay, yes.
But if you're able to do it in a very structured way, then it is very doable. It is, I wouldn't call it expensive. It is a matter of following the due process that we give to you so that you do just enough to give you a good crop.
Considering that the generation which you are targeting, that is the Gen Z,
Yes.
you know, the kind that would want to go do a lot of hard work, you know. Physical hard work
Yes.
is something which is not in their vocabulary.
Yes.
So I believe they would want to have something which is doable for who they are. You
Yes,
understand?
correct.
So something which they can easily adopt and run with it.
Yes.
Yes. And what are some of the challenges that you've been able to go through or you've met on the way to this? Because this is a very great achievement.
I think the biggest challenge that I find is work ethics. Work ethics in the sense that, you know, we have a regime of how people are supposed to work, Monday to Friday. And, you know, somebody tells you he has gone to the funeral or is going to see his girlfriend or whatever it is that you'll find coming up. So you don't get a constant number of people coming at any one given point. So workforce could be one of the challenges.
Okay.
Two, a very big challenge of this area, Adola,
Yes.
is that we're next to the lake,
Yes.
which is good because we get water.
For
but
irrigation.
the water has also animals.
Oh.
We have hippos.
Uh-huh.
So when hippos come, they graze here.
They graze in the shambas.
Yes.
Oh.
So hippo is a huge problem.
Challenge, yeah.
So they would come, and the worst part is that they don't graze at daytime, they graze at night.
Oh, so you can't be there
You can't
chasing them away all the time.
No.
At the same time, they are still dangerous.
And
they
are
can,
very dangerous.
yeah, they can
And
hurt you.
hippos graze from the lake all the way up to the where you can see, which is about a kilometer away from here.
Whoa.
At night, they have the time, they can roam about and they can eat. So that is a big challenge.
And you guys have not thought of maybe fencing? Because fencing is something we see on the other side.
You can fence.
People fence their,
but
their,
you
their
see,
pieces of
because
land.
this is one person's piece of land,
Yes.
that was another piece of, and I was saying it's a quarter piece of land, half an acre, 1
Yes,
acre. Now, when you talk about fencing,
Fencing,
what type of fencing are we looking at?
I don't know, maybe barbed wire for the hippos to prevent them from coming
It
in.
passes through barbed wire.
Oh.
Yes, it passes through barbed wire. I think it's a matter of leaving a portion of land
For them to graze.
for them to graze.
Okay.
Yeah, and what they're calling a riparian, let them graze that side, and then up here, then we have our
Free
desired
space
crops.
to do your crops.
Yeah, so that one is a huge issue.
Yeah, it is a
And
challenge.
because you can see that side, cows are there. This area normally, after people have removed they have removed their crops, then cows come into the area and start grazing, and that's traditionally how it has always been done.
Okay.
And
So it's no offense.
It's no offense after things have been removed,
Cleared, okay.
but when they have not been removed, where do we expect the cows to graze? No.
Nowhere.
So you'll find like that shepherd, he might be there grazing his cows, but then once in a while,
When you
being
lose
human,
sight of the-
you lose sight of 2 or 3 of them.
Yes.
The next day you come and you find that they have eaten in
Oh,
your shamba. It has
yeah.
happened here not once.
Yeah.
So those type of conflicts normally arise,
Yeah.
because of no place to graze. Yes.
Well, that is very interesting.
Yes.
Because now, okay, but do you make them pay for for the damage which has been done?
Ideally, you see, most of the people who live around this area, this is your uncle, this is your auntie, this is your grandchild, this is your shimeji.
So you're open
So
to everyone who comes.
It becomes a very big challenge
Yeah.
that, you know, you're now finding your shimeji, and yet tomorrow you're going to ask her for salt, or you're going to go there, she's going to make for you food.
It's a challenge.
That communal way of living,
Yes.
it becomes a little bit of a challenge. You see, in town, people can go and say, no, I'll take you to the chief.
Yeah,
or
sure.
I'll go
Yeah,
and
immediately.
find you in court.
Exactly.
But here, you know, kind of pleading with somebody, please look after your cattle.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about the market? What is the market like for these indigenous or traditional vegetables?
At the moment, The market is good. Good in the sense that around here, people are now embracing eating of traditional food. So that, to me, is a good thing. But it's competition between eating skooma and the traditional one. Because if I can eat skooma, why should I eat the traditional one? There must be, a reason why they do that.
Yeah.
So there is competition, but then there is also that appetite and knowledge that
Yes.
foods are good, and they also taste good.
Yes, they taste
So
good.
it all depends on your pocket. Yeah. But in terms of people taking it up, so far not bad. This is a rainy season.
Yes.
And during the rainy season, you get all sorts of, people would call them weeds, but they're not actually weeds. They are the same vegetables
Yes.
which are growing.
Uh-huh.
So when they grow, like there's one apond, I don't know what it is called in English, but
Yes.
apond is
is a relative
everywhere.
name. Yeah.
Right now, so somebody will tell you, why should I eat your Kundi, skumawiki, or whatever, when I can get a pot? I mean, it's good, but you also know you can only eat so much of a pot.
Yes, sure.
Or you can eat so much of a chak or whatever it is. Yeah.
And then you forget these skumawiki
So
again.
if somebody eats yours 2-3 times a week,
Yes.
then you're okay. You
You're
have ample market.
So the market is good.
The market is, at the particular moment, is a little bit subsided. It's a little bit low, but then in next 2 to 3 months, then it rises again. So it's a fluctuating market. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there. I'm lucky to say that there's not been any time that I don't have a place to sell. But when you talk about market, market means many things.
Yeah.
They may want it,
Yes.
but at a lower price.
Oh, yeah.
So they might say, I want it at 10 shillings, 20 shillings a kilo right now. In later part of the year, they might want it
Sell
at
it
40,
higher.
50, 60 shillings
Yeah,
a
sure.
kilo. So it just depends.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you talk about market, right now it's low, then it becomes slightly higher during the other part of the year.
Yes. You said you're doing better farming.
Yes.
You said better farming.
Yes, I'm a better farmer.
Which I confirm. I confirm totally.
Yes.
Because we've gone through each and every one of these.
Yeah.
So speak to the farmers who are listening to us right now, who are watching us today. Talk to them about this better farming. What would you talk to them about now that we have, yes, people are doing different kinds of farming outside there. They plant different things. But how can they now make their farming better so that we can be part of this whole process?
I think the first thing that I would like to say is there has been a conventional way of farming. And the conventional way has been using fertilizer, using insecticides, using herbicides, using fungicides.
Yes.
I think the first place we should start off with is getting the knowledge of what works best for our human consumption.
Yes.
What works best for the soil itself. If we look after the soil, then the soil will look after us. So start by arming yourself with information about how best to look after the soil. There's, if you go and dig right now over here, I am sure you will see many, many worms.
Okay.
That is a sign of good, healthy soil. If you dig in a portion of this area and you don't find any worms, then you know there's something wrong.
There's something wrong. Yeah.
Either you have used too much fertilizer or you have used, very harmful pesticides or insecticides. So start by arming yourself with information of how best your soil is. Then, of course, you go and do your soil test and see what is lacking.
Yes.
If you find something lacking, then you go to any agronomist who will explain to you or tell you what exactly you would need to do to get your soil up to speed with what is required. Most soils, actually most soils, over a period of time will rectify themselves if you look after the soil. Look after the soil food web and look after the insects, not insects, but the bacteria, the fungus, the living organisms in the soil.
Yes.
Once you look after those, then once you plant something, then you'll find that whatever you plant thrives.
Yes.
People say in clay soil you wouldn't be able to do well.
Yes.
But here is a testimony
It's a
that
testimony.
clay
big
soil
one.
is doing well.
Yes.
Because we have looked after this soil. But it does take time and it works.
Yes.
So I would, the biggest take for what I would like to advise maybe other people who want to get engaged is look after your soil.
Look after your soil.
Yes, and your soil will look after your plants.
Yes.
And your plants will in turn look after you with very densely rich nutrients in them.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Yes.
Yes.
Beloved viewers, you've heard it straight from the source's mouth, and he has put it very well that when you look at the soil, take care of your soil, it is going to give you an end product which is top notch and resulting to better, you said better farming.
Yes.
Yes, to better farming. And that is what we all want to achieve. So I believe you have learned a lot from this day's episode. And until next time, I have been your host, Magdalene Apond. Thank you very much. God bless you.